I understand that the lack of control that you have when you're so emotionally involved in something, whether it's a woman, whether it's an incident, whether it's your children, whatever it is. When emotions get involved, there's no telling what could happen.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
You think the Beast is ever going to leave us?
Not totally. I don't think it ever will. You know, as much as you try, it's always in the back of your head.
Well, it's like taming a wild animal and making it a pet. That's the way I look at it. Like I work very hard at taming that beast to never. You always have the instinct of releasing it when necessary, getting back to what it was somewhat before. You know, better though. You have the way of taming that wild animal inside of you where you call upon it when necessary, but you keep it under control at all times.
You keep it under control, but like I said, it may never go away.
When did it start to...
I was going to say, I got a question for you first. How do you feel the first week of August every year?
The first week of August?
Or was it July?
It was July.
First week of July, my bad. I'm sorry.
I just want to point out today's the day Elvis died. Just want to throw that out there. I know it's a non sequitur. It's got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but the greatest musician in the world just ever died.
Frank Sinatra sung My Way Better. Come on, Joe, jump in on this.
The suffering of Elvis. That's another beast. Don't make the beast come out. Don't make me angry about Elvis. You won't like me when I'm angry.
You're going to rile him up, Joe. We had this whole conversation a couple weeks ago. But the first week of July.
Yes.
That's why I said it may never go away.
You've been witness to this now for a couple years. So you know how I get in July. I will withdraw.
Shut down.
I'm always afraid that beast is going to rear its head. Always.
Yeah.
And at home it does. I'm a nightmare during the first week of July. I'm leading up to it. I have so much anxiety, and the littlest thing sets me off. Over time, I will tell you that it has gotten better. The first year was really bad. It was really, really bad. Second year was bad, and it's been getting progressively better every year. But that first week of July, Jesus Christ, I'm partially back to the way I was after the shooting, just an animal, just a nightmare to deal with. Nobody really knows. People who in my circle who know me, they don't know how to associate with me, nor do I want to associate with them. I think we did a show. This year, it was on a Sunday. Was my anniversary, and we did a show that Wednesday. And I came in here and I put on a smile and I did the show. I forget who we recorded that week. And I do know it was Pastor Ron Lewis. And if it was somebody, say like Clark Fredericks came in here, I don't think I would have handled it the same way. You know, Pastor Ron is so subdued and
calming,
mellow, calming. His voice has got that, he's got that southern drawl. I don't think that's a good point. That's a really, really good point. So, like when September 16th rolls around, 16th or 14th?
September 16th.
September 16th. So when September 16th rolls around, I have to make sure that we have a guest in here that is conducive. Actually, we got a good one coming in for you. That's the week before. That's going to be it's the most calming voice I ever heard in my life.
We got to get like a clown in or something. The suffering of a clown.
Oh, we're still trying to put that one idea together.
Oh,
that's the best. That. If we get this together, folks, it's going to go viral. That one will go viral. But anyway, that first week is really bad. It's really, really bad. I would love to just go away that week, but I don't think that's the right answer because I'm running away from the prairie fire.
Yeah, but see, hashtag prairie fire. But September, and see, that's the other thing. I mean, I know you said you've never gone back to your incident location.
I drove past it once.
Lyndhurst is a small town. I drive past it all the time. So there's always that feeling when you're coming up on it.
Did you ever drive past it and not realize you drove past it?
Yeah, there have been times, actually one time that really got me was I was coming home one night, and as I'm driving up onto the location, there's a motor vehicle stopped right in the same spot. I slowed down. I just stared at it. I drove about 2 blocks and pulled over. I couldn't, had a hard time catching my breath. Well, and that was a year ago.
Really?
So we're talking 2014 to now, and you're still feeling it. That's why I said I don't think the beast will ever be fully gone. It's how you internalize it. It's how you take that and compartmentalize, internalize, and just keep moving on.
I have heard through the grapevine people who have spoken to the victim who was held at gunpoint during my shooting, that she was overly grateful, and she actually wanted to reach out and say thank you. Do you know I turned it down?
Really?
It was too fresh when it happened. But then I think about the guy who was holding the gun to this woman. His beast got to the best of him. I mean, I look at it now.
he really unleashed the beast that night.
He did. I look at it now, and this is going to sound so strange, but I understand it. I understand that the lack of control that you have when you're so emotionally involved in something, whether it's a woman, whether it's an incident, whether it's your children, whatever it is. When emotions get involved, there's no telling what could happen.
If you think about it, too, think about her beast now.
Yeah, she's got a big one.
You think about her beast. We think we have it bad. She was held at gunpoint. She's probably got some, like we say, she's got a lot of shit, too.
You know, I don't even know her name.
Really?
I don't even know her name. I could look it up. I don't know, because I'd love to talk to her. I really would love to talk to her. And
in here?
Always on air. Always on air now. But I would love to talk to her, and I'd love to hear her
Version,
synopsis of events. How I don't even know exactly. Did he ring the doorbell? There's so much about my shooting that I'm just realizing now that I don't know about.
Yeah.
Did he ring the doorbell and say hi? Was there phone calls? Was there emails? I know there was a restraining order that was trying to get put through, and the guy lived in Florida. And I'll say the guy's name. The guy's name was Anthony Vocatoro. I don't know, and I'd like to talk to him as well.
We almost did.
Yeah, we tried. I'd love to be able to talk to him.
Down in Florida, right? We almost had him on the one time.
Yeah, I would like to hear. I think it would be healing for both of us, and I think that might calm my beast a little bit.
All right, let's think about him.
Yeah,
he's got a beast now too.
He's got a big beast. So, and the question is how often do you think the beast comes out now? If before, let's say, you were out of a month, you were 20 days a beast.
In the beginning, it used to come out hourly.
Yeah.
I mean, especially leading up. Like I said, I mean, mine took 53 weeks to the day to get the grand jury. I had a murder indictment hanging over my head for 53 weeks for doing my job. Mm. So that beast reared its ugly head, let's say, hourly. Mm. Then you finally get cleared by the grand jury. Now you're dealing with retirement, going before the pension board.
There's a whole different beast.
And some of the things that went on through it, I actually flipped out on my pension caseworker. Lost my shit, screaming at her over the phone. So I flipped. Mm. But now, like I said,
I thought my retirement was going to release the beast. It was not release the beast, but calm the beast.
And you gave me a little forewarning. You said, it's not like it's going to be over. It's just going to be like, oh, well.
It's anticlimactic. Yeah. It's just like, they tell me, hey, you got your pension. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, now what?
Call my wife. Hey, I got my pension. Aren't you happy? Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's a chapter of your life gone. You just closed the book before you got to finish reading it.
But we've learned so many different tools through our group therapy. The right therapist leading the group, who was just as fucked up as the rest of us, by the way. He's guiding this.
How many times we just make him shake his head in those groups?
Ah, so great. It was so great. bring up the most inappropriate things, but that he knew that's what we had to get out. We had to talk about normal life in order to get back to normal and not be judged by the people sitting next to us. Because I think the worst thing, one of the worst things for me is I felt judged by every person I ran into, even if they didn't know what was going on.
For some reason in law enforcement, when you're involved in a critical incident like that, I don't want to, and I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but it almost gives you like status.
Yeah. How many body? There was a guy in Maplewood who I knew. He was involved in 2 shootings, and they used to call him body count.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what the fuck?
When I was younger in my career, there was 2 guys in Hackensack. They were involved in like 3 or 4 shootings. Mm. And everybody looked at them like, wow.
With reverence.
That's those guys. Yeah. I mean, so you get that, like you said, reverence or status. And that bothers me. I just want to be the regular guy that, really, I wish this never happened. I just want to be the regular guy that did his 25, 30 years and got out.
These days, how do you contain the beast?
Still go to the gym as much as I can. If I feel it coming up, I'll, I isolate, try to stay away from people because I don't want to, I've pissed enough people off in the last 8 years. I don't want to keep pissing more people off. So I pretty much get myself out of any uncomfortable situation I feel. Because like I said, a lot of the beast is brought on by an uncomfortable situation.
See, I revel in the uncomfortableness, and I'm always doing different things and trying new things and starting new things and learning new things. I think part of me, maybe it's a problem because at my most uncomfortable, I felt lost. So maybe it's a little normal to me now. But I failed at a lot of different things. But I like trying different things. This show, this podcast. I mean, hey, it's fucking insane. Hey, I'm going to start a podcast. There's other people starting very similar podcasts too. That was a dig, by the way. That was a dig.
It took me a second.
Yeah, it was an underhanded dig, but those things. It's a purpose thing. You're in your shooting. You got no purpose.
Yeah, and that's what I said. It's keeping yourself busy now.
So is purpose the way to chain the beast?
That could be it. Give yourself something to do. Everybody's like, oh, why don't you just retire? Because I don't want to sit around. If I have all day to do nothing, an idle mind is the devil's playground. I'm going to wind up either releasing the beast or just going through that, getting in that irritable mood.
Well, think about all that time you spent where you couldn't work. I was 12 months. I was fortunate. But in that 12 months, I'm going to teach you I'm going to talk to you about the things that I did to just keep my mind occupied. I taught myself how to make moonshine, which probably not a good idea. I made swords. Again,
probably not a good idea.
I taught myself how to plate braid. I made 2. Did you ever see the bullwhip that I made?
Yeah.
All right. So plate braiding is only good for bullwhip making. It's what gauchos do. I got 2 9-foot bullwhips made out of paracord, which one of them was very funny because, and Dr. Steph will tell this story. When you do it, you make a hardcore handle, you use like a big bolt or something, and I had it clamped to the desk in my office. And you got to braid everything. It's sitting there, and I would leave. It's not a one-day thing, and I would leave it. Well, my wife sees it, and she takes a picture of it, and she sends it to Dr. Steph. She thought it was some sort of weird suicide device, like I'm making the Dr. Kevorkian thing. And Dr. Steph, we're sitting in therapy, and he goes, "What the hell are you doing?"
Where'd you get that, Doc?
I'm making a bullwhip. Doesn't everybody do that? One of the things that was really good, and this, I started metal detecting. That
you like one of those weirdos on the beach walking around the metal detectors?
It is the most. And I know another retired cop that is into it. He's trying to get me. I just don't have the time to do it anymore. But it was the most calming thing in the world because you're out in the woods. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You got headphones on. You're listening to, and you're focused. And you have a purpose. It was the most calming thing in the world.
See, I can't do that. I can't like run with headphones on. I need to hear what's going on around me. I need to hear if someone's walking up behind me. I can't have headphones on and just listen to the beep, beep.
I was
Not
never
gonna
so hyper-focused as when I was doing that. And that really brought me down a little bit.
Did you ever find anything in the woods?
Oh, I found a 1787 Nova Sicera, which is a New Jersey copper. The Constitution was signed in 1787. I found it behind the Lazar School in Montville, which is right on Changebridge Road. It's about that big, and it's in the ground. 1787. I found colonial flat buttons. I found a lot of mercury. I found a lot of silver and stuff like this, rings and shit like that. But that Nova Sicera was just sitting there. It was about 8 inches down. Pulled it out, and I'm just brushing it up. I'm like, 17, what? You could tell it was a coin. I'm like, what the hell is this? So, yeah, I have found things. But it's less about what you find, and it's more about just going out there and having a focused journey and a purpose.
Well, what are we repurposing?
So
You take something and you repurpose it.
I think purpose is the way we cage that beast.
The beast's kryptonite.
Yeah, I think purpose, because lack of purpose, that's when the beast comes out, when you're out of control.
Mine it really hit me at night when I was laying down going to bed. Because now you got nothing to do. You're just laying there. You can't sleep. That's one thing with post-traumatic stress. You have a hard time falling asleep. Then mind starts racing. Now you're laying there sometimes for hours on end. Then you finally fall asleep. You only get 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Now you wake up the next morning and you're in that mood again because you didn't sleep well. And yeah, but I think you're right. I think purpose is the way to.
So we've gone through this. We've looked the beast in the eye many, many times.
Still do.
We do from time to time. I think we have a little bit better grasp of it because we recognize them a little bit better.
But see, are we like gluttons for punishment?
Yeah.
Doing this show.
Seeing the beast.
Seeing the beast. Other people's beast. Mm-hmm. On a weekly basis.
But it's purpose.
It's purpose, and it's helping them, which in turn helps us.
A lot of times when I develop the outlines for these shows, I sort of know where it's going. This was one that we sort of developed on the fly. And I really didn't know where it's going.
But we didn't really even go off of this list that much. It gave us a little bit of...
But we could sit here and talk for hours about the beast because, again, we've looked the beast square in the eyes. We've battled the beast. I battled it for the past 9 years. You've battled it for, the past 8 years?
8 years.
So we're very familiar with him. You've looked the beast in the eye. What do you think it's taught you, that suffering?
If you let the beast be bigger than you, then he's going to be bigger than you. Mm. You have to be bigger than that beast and learn how to control it. And it's just like you get a big dog, like let's just say a Rottweiler. If you let that Rottweiler run all over, he's going to eat you up. You learn how to train the Rottweiler, learn how to take care of the Rottweiler, befriend the Rottweiler. So maybe that's it. Befriend the beast.
Because the Rottweiler is going to be there with you for the next X amount of years.
So you know the beast is going to be there.
I like that. Befriend the beast. I'm going to have to write that one down. I may use that one. # befriend the beast.
There you go.
We're all about hashtagging stuff.
Hey, Drew, that's another good one I came up with. All by myself.
For me, it's taming the beast. It's looking that beast in the eye and containing him. But I have to go back to this. The thing, what this suffering has taught me is purpose. Is, like you said, the beast's kryptonite. And when I feel like my life is without purpose, that's when the beast starts rearing its ugly head. But I don't ever want the beast to get the better of me again.
I said be bigger than the beast.
Yeah. So I'd be bigger than the beast. I like that one. So let's end it on a high note anyway. the Mel Brooks high note.
But to anybody out there, if you're going through this, you can get through it. It's not easy. It's not fun. But just keep some purpose in your life. Start a podcast kind of like,
But now we bring the beast out for exhibit. That's what we do. We bring the beast on exhibit because we've befriended him. We know who he is now. We know exactly who he is.
Well, he's in here every week, so we better know who he is.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Suffering Podcast, the suffering of the beast. And let's think about all the stuff that we learned today. You don't have to understand trauma to be empathetic. We are right where we need to be at all times. Learn how to wrangle the beast and befriend the beast. But most importantly, and I'm going to say it's most important because it's something I came up with.
Of course.
Purpose may chain the beast. That's going to do it for this episode of the Suffering Podcast, the Suffering of the Beast. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow Mike at Mike_Failace. Follow me at Real Kevin Donaldson. And of course, follow the Suffering Podcast. If you like our content, don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's get to that 5,000 mark. And we're going to see you on the next episode of Suffering Podcast.
# befriend the beast.